Hello, today's lesson is quality counts, and we're going to begin by counting thirds. To do so, we will skip a letter and a key. Starting on C, we skip this letter and this key, and we arrive at E. Going from D to F, we skip this letter and key, E. Going from E, a third above is G. Going from F, third above F is A, a third above G is B, a third above A is C, a third above B is D. Okay, so we've been counting thirds, and we just found it's pretty simple. Just skip a letter and a key. Have we skipped anything here? Oh yes, we've skipped all of these black keys. Now, how do they contribute to the quality of tone? Excellent question, and to answer that we need to give these black keys a name. And we do so by their relationship to the keys next to them. In this case, we're going to call this black key D flat. So here's D, and a half step lower than that, we have D flat. And here's E. We'll call this tone E flat. Now, making a comparison between C and D flat and C and D, we would say that C to D is covering more distance, and so therefore is bigger, and C to D flat is smaller. We use the word major for bigger and minor for smaller. So we would call C to D a major second and C to D flat a minor second. But also notice that if we compare C to D, to C to D flat, the D flat is lower in pitch, closer to C, and C to D, D is higher in pitch. So that's another characteristic difference. Okay, so now measuring this distance, a little bit different. Going from C to D flat, we call that a half step. So music, that distance between the white key and the black key, or a black key to the white key, two adjacent keys, in every case, is going to be a half step. So from C to D flat is a half step, and we call that a minor second. From C to D is two half steps, or we would call that a whole step, one step, and that would be a major second. From C to E flat is a whole step and a half step, 1.5 steps, that would be called a minor third. Whereas from C to E, covering larger distance by a half a step, 2 whole steps, would be a major third. Now some of the keys you may have already noticed don't have a black key in between, so here between E and F, and also from B to C, we have what we call natural half steps. Okay, that's important to keep in mind. Excellent. So now that you understand how to count a third, and you understand better how to identify the quality of thirds, I'd like you to compare some of these notes to each other and determine which one of these white keys to white keys is a major third and which one are minor thirds. Okay, so just to review here, from C to E we discovered was a major third because it covered a distance of 2 whole steps. Whole step, whole step, or 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah? So from C to E, we determined is a major third. Now if it had been a minor third, like from C to E flat, it would have been a whole step and a half step. Apply that same thing from D to F, whole step. Okay, that's a half step. So that would be a minor third. Give you a few minutes here, take a moment, stop the video, and do the rest of these. Okay? See you in just a few. Okay, welcome back. And we now have the answer key here. And if you're looking from C to E, we have a major third because we have 2 whole steps. From D to F, we discovered was a minor third because it was whole step and half step. The next one was a half step and whole step. And the next one, F to A, you can see 2 whole steps because there was a black key in between. Or if we counted the half steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And from G to B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 whole steps, a major third. From A to C, 3 half steps, a minor third. And from B to D, minor third. Over here on the left side, we see Roman numerals. We use those to indicate scale degree. So this was in the key of C, scale degree number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. And we use Roman numerals. And you probably notice here that some are capped and some are not. Some are in bold and some are not. And if we draw a line across, we discover that the ones that are in bold I've marked down as major. And the ones not in bold were all minor. This is our observation today, as we've gone through and figured out what a major third is, and identified each of these thirds, and also identified the quality of sound major as compared to minor. We discovered there was a pattern. And so if we're in the key of C, we start on the note C, go up to C, we would discover that there are only 3 major thirds in that set. The rest were minor. That's an important piece of information. Okay, well, a lot of times the thirds are important because they indicate a quality of sound and a mood. Here are 2 melodies. They're exactly the same except for 1 tone. In the first line, it all has notes that are on the white key. In the second line, we've changed one of the notes. The note E is now E flat. Now the distance between C and E flat is, you got a minor third, and from C to E is a major third. So we will notice as we play through this, because this song is in the key of C, that this will have a different quality sound than the one below it. Let's hear the major tonality first. The minor tonality. How would you describe the difference between these two? Take a moment. Maybe some of you describe the minor tonality sounding a little bit more somber or sad. What would happen if I played the second one first? A different effect going from major to minor and minor to major. Again, the first three notes of the song from C to E was the determining difference between these two examples. Okay, so a few observations here. One important one, the major thirds on the white key only occur on the first, fourth, and fifth scale degrees in the key of C. All the other thirds are minor thirds. Okay. The major intervals are larger than minor intervals by half a step. I hope that you now know that a minor second is a half step, whereas a major second is a whole step. A minor third is 1.5 steps, and a major third 2 whole steps. And again, major thirds in a major key occur on the first, fourth, and fifth scale degree. Okay, well now let's have fun and compose a song. And I'd like you to I encourage you just to restrict yourself to starting on the note C and ending on the note C, to write 2 4-bar phrases like the one that we looked at a moment ago, and to use just the notes C, D, E, F, G. Now, on the 2 phrases, you can do what we did just a moment ago, and that is make them essentially identical, except on one of them use E natural, and the other one use E flat. And of course, you will notice a difference in tonality between those two. Okay, don't forget to draw a treble clef, time signature, bar lines, and after 4 bars, write another 4 bars. Okay, we'll see you in a few. Okay, welcome back, and to conclude, if you could just write down a few things that you learned, that you remember, and what you found the most enjoyable part of the lesson. And if there's anything else you'd like to add, you can add as further comments and observations. Thank you.